Hey everyone, welcome back to Installation 00, and you'll notice recently I did a little run through of the Rakshasa armor core, including and the Eagle Strike armor core. The Eagle Strike helmet became both a symbol of resistance against... But of course there's a few more armor cores to get through in Halo Infinite at the moment, so given that we've just had the winter update, it makes a lot of sense to me at least, that perhaps the Mark 5B core gets its little focus in. So yeah, we're amending that problem right here, right now. The Mark 5B is about to get its own armor core breakdown. Expect the Mark 7 in due course, and at some point I'll get round to the samurai styled one as well. And of course this will keep going into the future, so when the next season launches, the SPI armor core, I assume, will also be covered. But for now, let's focus on the Mark 5B and give it its little focused, kind of most detailed breakdown. MJOLNIR Powered Assault Armor B variant is a variant of both the Mark IV and Mark V MJOLNIR armor platforms. Very little is known of the variation of the Mark IV B variant aside from being fielded and used by Fred 104 as a personal variant circa 2526, and it is assumed that it is literally just a variant of the base Mark IV platform testing out undisclosed or indescript testbed prototypes in MJOLNIR's well-documented spiral development methodology. The Mark V B variant, however, stands apart from the mainline Mark V platform as something of a submodel of the primary Mark. This variant differs in only a very few distinct ways to the standard Mark V. The Mark V-B can be attributed as the very first fielded variant to incorporate energy shield technology reverse engineered from Covenant Jackal shield gauntlets, being allocated to Spartan 2s and very select Spartan 3s in November of 2551, a whole 10 months before the mainline Mark V platform was unveiled and fielded. The Mark V-B variant's base was designed and developed by the Materials Group, but with some armour components being contracted out to various private corporations, so this otherwise submodel of mainline MJOLNIR armour platforms suddenly became much broader with wider applications to various situations due to bespoke and specific armour variants being developed, honing the platform's resilience and field application quite separately from its Mark V sister platform. During this time, the Mark V variant underwent some incremental changes of its own and alterations based on field performance of the Mark V-B, including additional innovations to the energy shielding, making the shields more powerful and able to recharge marginally faster, as well as the addition of the crystalline memory superconducting layer and neural interface systems that allowed the suit and the Spartan to carry a full shipborne smart AI and benefit from its application not only in regards to its tactical espionage, intelligence and communications gathering, hacking, infiltration and subversion, but also optimizations of the connection between the Spartan and the suit, boosting reaction times, capacity for strength and coordination. The Mark V also had changes to its armour coverage, aesthetic and functional battle plate, alongside a dozen smaller QOL upgrades. But we're not here to discuss the Mark V. If however you do wish to know the specifics of the Mark V variant, see the most detailed breakdown in the description. The Mark V-B was developed specifically as part of a range of the Gen 1 platforms of MJOLNIR, but has seen adaptation into the newer Gen 3 platform fielded as recently as 2560, giving this older design a second life for applications with all current serving members of the Spartan branch, encompassing all three classes of Spartans. So let's take a look at the independent variants of the Mark V-B. Developed and tested in the last years of the Covenant War, the Mark V-B saw extensive use with the Spartans assigned to Unicom during the fall of Reach. Buvaglik Rustan System did not design the original CQB pattern, but their improvements and upgrades following the Jericho 7 campaign made the connection inseparable. CQC helmets are rated for use in extremely hazardous thermal, chemical and atmospheric environments, such as those encountered during boarding actions and operations in Covenant-occupied urban areas. Spartan Air Assault class helmets differ at a fundamental technical level from those issued to Army airborne units. Commando helmets are compatible with all MJOLNIR systems, as well as both CMA and UNSC battle network protocols. The former proved to be invaluable in late war efforts to recontract outer colonies that had been cut off by the Covenant advance. Though particulars of the summer deep space incident remain classified at the highest level, the event was pivotal in the rapid development and improvement of MJOLNIR EVA helmets. Grenadier helmets are officially categorized as prototypes, as NavSpec War wrestles with the overwhelming cost of its lightweight armoured composite shell. Late iteration prototypes of the Mark VI helmet were undergoing final testing just weeks before the Covenant assault on Reach. Unfortunately, much of the resulting combat data was not recoverable by the Seongnam-based development team. Initially developed for use on MJOLNIR-powered assault armour, the ODST pattern of helmet was widely adopted by UNSC Special Forces, albeit in a cost-reduced form. The Scout helmet was Material Group's testbed for developing standardised sensor interlink protocols and software drivers for external optic packages. The MJOLNIR EVA variant styled directly after Emil's helmet from Noble Team. The Mark V project began as a reference design by Materials Group, a technical blueprint that other manufacturers could adapt for their own MJOLNIR patterns. Recon helmets were invaluable for Spartan tactical reconnaissance and electronic surveillance teams deployed in support of Operation Red Flag during the final year of the Covenant War. The HAZOP biothreat filters and corrosion-resistant sealing valves operate in synchronicity, which made adapting them to other helmets very difficult. An ill-favoured child of the Buvaglik Rustan system's risky entry into the MJOLNIR development, JFO helmets were ultimately one of its most successful efforts. Field Rig Romeo is a popular nickname for this arrangement of tactical gear. Triple magazine pouches carried on long-range patrols. A multi-thread up-armoured module kit compatible with most MJOLNIR models and variants. The Shield Improvement Module Alpha was an upgrade that never quite reached successful deployment, but the armoured housing quickly found a new use with the Spartan 3s. This yoke provides an extra layer of collar protection constructed from warship-grade titanium A. An armoured yoke and carrier for additional shotgun shells. When words do not suffice, high explosives speak clearly. This harness pack includes atmospheric condensers for passive water harvesting. A tool and a weapon. Designed for airborne units, the Para Armour attachment minimises weight without sacrificing protection. The unrealised goal of Special Warfare Center Essen was to create a pauldron that could stop an energy sword. The shoulder latches are compatible with most UEG standard spacesuit accessories. These armour pieces were created for MJOLNIR but eventually became viable for mass production and deployment to other UNSC forces. The baseline by which all supplemental armour is rated. Compatible with almost all MJOLNIR generations and variants. This shoulder armour was a simple adaptation of gear already utilised by Mizraia corporate security. Some snipers like to keep a few extra rounds that had personal attention paid to their intended use, for special occasions. Materials Group was quick to identify useful field innovations made by Spartans, including their cunning reuse of discarded Titanium A preformed plate elements. Safety restraints and interlocks for jump jet and EVA equipment. Multi-threat shoulder armour, expensive to produce but ultimately disposable if heavily damaged. Part of an armour ensemble developed for the Beta 5 asymmetrical action group. Armoured AESA panels associated with recon armour. This heavily armoured pauldron was popular with Spartans across a range of specialisations and assignments. Supplemental armour pauldron associated with JFO armour. The flanges are ruggedized antenna modules. Every Spartan glove was a miraculous combination of sensors, myomer, and armour weaves. As Spartan losses mounted, additional attention was paid to improving survivability. Supplemental wrist armour. Forearm shotgun shell holder. Dock for the SRT Universal Global Positioning System receiver. Dock for the MC5 individual data net terminal. Purchased off the shelf from a variety of manufacturers. Ceramic composite armour plates for additional thigh protection. Well suited for storing items you don't want to lose or break. Hazardous environments almost always require extra precautions. Supplemental leg armour optimised for balance. MJOLNIR G up-armoured prototypes incorporated a layer of shock-dissipating fractal cubes, which became standard in later designs. Materials Group designed and manufactured a range of supplemental leg armour kits to meet the needs of Spartan field operatives. All environment supplemental leg armour. Thanks for watching. Stick your comments down below, and I look forward to what you have to say. And quick shout outs and thank yous to my patrons: Spartan10148, my devastatingly effective Metarch class ancilla; Silver Spartan, Leon, Ram, Prophet Bear and Irrefutable Justice, my ever-vigilant monitors; the careful tending of Alvin, Andrew, Brian, Cameron, Darian, Devon, Phantom, Flaming Halo, Cabal, Legions Lost, Michael, Spartan0137, the Cave Potato and Wolf Eclipse, my sub-monitors, my growing fleet of Strato Sentinels, and my most loyal of enforcers, and all my awesome Sentinels, Sentries and Constructors who have jumped aboard on Patreon to help support the channel. You have my debt of gratitude. And, as ever, Todd Morrison, my Tier 0 Transcendent YouTube member. Thanks for keeping my installation running on that glorious vacuum energy. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, as it all helps the channel grow and helps me to continue to deliver this kind of content for you guys. And if you're ready for your next steps in evolution, head over to Patreon and become a patron there, or become a YouTube member to attain a higher state of being. Much love to all of you, take it easy everyone, and find peace in the domain.